Remember the Alamo by Cynthia McCarthy. Chapter 3, Santa Anna. Santa Anna is a general, Pa said. He has made himself president of Mexico. Before Santa Anna, Pa continued, the people of Mexico elected their own leaders. They made their own laws, just like in the United States. But Santa Anna threw out the Mexican Constitution. He changed laws. He acts like a king, Pa declared. That's what you call a dictatorship. And that was one of the problems that the settlers ran into when Santa Anna took over. They didn't like the fact that he was a dictator. Pa got very angry talking about General Santa Anna. His face turned bright red. Santa Anna says Americans don't belong in Mexico, Pa said. He wants us all to leave. But this is our land, I exclaimed. I was angry at General Santa Anna now. We're happy here. I don't want to live anywhere else. Don't worry, Pa said. Mr. Austin went to Mexico City. That's the capital of Mexico. Pa explained further. Mr. Austin is going to see Santa Anna. He's going to ask that Texas be separate from the rest of Mexico. Then we can stay here. We can live the way we want to. I thought Mr. Austin would be able to change Santa Anna's mind, but I was wrong. Santa Anna just became angrier at Americans. He put Mr. Austin in jail. Santa Anna said no more Americans would be allowed to come to Texas. He sent soldiers to Texas. He wanted to make sure his rules were followed. Pa and I still had company over, but we didn't dance. Now we talked about the general, and we talked about all the bad things he was doing. After 2 years, Santa Anna let Mr. Austin out of jail, and he came home to Texas. Everyone was so glad to see him. Here's Stephen Austin, and then here, this is General Santa Anna. Mr. Austin said that we would never have a good life in Mexico. We could not live under Santa Anna's laws. Everybody in Texas agreed. On September 19, 1835, Mr. Austin sent a letter to the people of Texas. In the letter, he wrote that we had to go to war against Santa Anna. It was the only way we could make Texas free. Chapter 4, War. The Texans decided to fight Santa Anna. They formed their own government. Henry Smith was elected governor. Sam Houston was made head of the regular Texas Army. Pa and I knew all about Sam Houston. He'd once been governor of Tennessee. Remember that they were from Tennessee. Here's Sam Houston. That's the caption. Texas had a regular army. Plus, there were many small groups of volunteer soldiers. One of those groups was led by William Travis. Mr. Travis had been a lawyer and a school teacher before moving to Texas. Pa told me that everyone called Mr. Travis Buck. Jim Bowie was another man who had moved to Texas. He had his own group of soldiers too. Mr. Bowie had been a scout and a soldier. A scout is somebody who goes ahead of an expedition and checks things out before they get there. He had also invented a new kind of knife. This knife had a special shape. It also had a handguard for protection. It came to be called the Bowie knife. Proclamation of Sam Houston, Commander-in-Chief of the Army of Texas. Very soon, the Texans were winning many battles. They drove the Mexican troops out of many towns. There was a big battle in San Antonio. From our farm, Pa and I could hear the roar of the cannons. With each boom, I jumped. The Texans won the battle. The Mexican soldiers had to leave San Antonio. Santa Anna heard that his soldiers were being defeated, and he was very angry. There's a picture of a cannon. The Texans have gone too far, Santa Anna said. Now I'm going to crush them. Santa Anna would lead the army himself. He would lead the march to Texas. San Antonio stood right in his path. He would march right through the city. Many Americans heard Santa Anna was on his way. They quickly left San Antonio. Some of them stopped at our farm as they passed. They told us the news. Jim Bowie, Buck Travis, and their soldiers are in San Antonio, one man told us. They're going to wait there to fight Santa Anna. They're using the Alamo as their fort. Are we going to leave Texas too? I asked Pa. Is that what you want to do, Addie? Pa asked me. I shook my head. No, this is our country. Tomorrow we'll go to San Antonio, Pa said. I'll tell Mr. Travis and Mr. Bowie that I want to be one of their volunteers. I want to help fight against Santa Anna. So that's what we did. We packed some food and we put it in our wagon. Then we headed for San Antonio and the Alamo. Pa said that when the war was over, Texas would be free. Then we moved back to our farm. I hoped it would be soon. It's getting exciting. So it looks like Addie and her dad went to help out at the Alamo. So let's see what happens next time.